The days after the betrayal blurred into one another. Time lost meaning. I stopped going to work. My phone buzzed endlessly at first, messages from Emily, from Daniel, even from colleagues who wondered why I hadn't shown up. But eventually, the buzzing faded. People give up quickly when silence is the only answer. I sat in that apartment, surrounded by shadows, staring at the pieces of my old life scattered around me. A framed photo of Emily and me at the lake. A watch Daniel had given me on my last birthday. Souvenirs of trust, now poisoned with memory. I couldn't bear to touch them, yet I couldn't throw them away either. They were evidence of my stupidity, of their betrayal, of the world's cruelty. Nights were the worst. Sleep was a stranger. Whenever I closed my eyes, I saw their faces. Emily's lips curving into that smile, my smile. Now his, Daniel's careless laughter, as if friendship meant nothing. My chest would tighten until I could barely breathe, and rage would surge through me like fire. But fire burns out. Silence, on the other hand, endures. One night, as I sat by the window watching the city lights tremble in the distance, I asked myself, what am I now? A victim, a broken man, or something else entirely? The answer came slowly, like an ember glowing beneath ash. I was not broken. I was becoming. I began to observe, to study. Too planned that Daniel was ambitious, too ambitious. He had always wanted to climb higher, faster, no matter who he stepped on. At work, he craved recognition. Outside of it, he craved admiration. He built his life on appearances, on charm, on manipulation. He wore loyalty like a mask. I had known this about him in fragments, but I had ignored it. Love and friendship make you blind. Betrayal forces your eyes open. Emily, on the other hand, craved security. She loved to be loved. She needed attention, comfort, the feeling of being cherished. I had given her all of that, or at least I thought I had. But perhaps she wanted more than I could give, more than I was willing to give. Or maybe she simply wanted what was forbidden. Either way, she had chosen Daniel. They deserved each other, and they deserved me. I started small. Information was my first weapon. I followed Daniel's social media accounts, noting every post, every boastful update. I watched Emily through the cracks of the digital world, her photographs, her smiles that now felt artificial. They both thought they were safe, that I had disappeared into obscurity. But I was there. In every shadow, in every silence, my days filled with quiet observation. I walked the streets near Daniel's office, blending into the crowd, memorizing his routines. I learned when he left, who he met, what restaurants he liked. I traced Emily's movements to her morning coffee runs, her late-night gym sessions, the way she checked over her shoulder only when the street was too empty. The more I learned, the calmer I became. Knowledge was control. Control was power. Still, there were moments when doubt whispered in my ear. Was I truly capable of this? Could I dedicate my life to revenge? Was it worth it? But every time those questions arose, I closed my eyes and saw them together in my bed, their laughter spilling into the night. And the doubt vanished like smoke. I wasn't rushing. That was the difference. The old me might have stormed into their lives with accusations, with rage, with violence. But I was no longer that man. I was silence, and silence waits. Silence seeps into cracks, erodes walls, destroys from within. Weeks turned into months. I built myself anew. I exercised, not for health, but for discipline. I read books on psychology, strategy, even manipulation. I practiced stillness, how to sit in a room unnoticed, how to listen more than speak. Slowly, I shed the skin of the man they knew. One evening, I walked past a mirror and didn't recognize myself. My eyes were colder, my posture straighter, my face calmer. It wasn't grief anymore that looked back at me. It was purpose. The first move had to be subtle. Daniel's reputation was fragile, like a tower built on sand. All it would take was the right whisper, the right push. I began planting seeds, anonymous emails to his supervisors, casual remarks to colleagues I encountered by chance. Nothing direct, nothing that could be traced back to me. Just enough to raise questions, to spark suspicion. Emily was different. She required patience. My revenge for her would not be about destroying her reputation, it would be about dismantling her heart. She had taken mine and shattered it. In return, I would hollow hers out slowly, until she was left with nothing but echoes. But that was for later. For now, I prepared. Every detail mattered. Every step had to be silent, invisible. If they ever suspected me, it would all fall apart. The night I finalized the first stage of my plan, I felt something I hadn't felt in months. Calm. Not happiness. Not relief. Calm, like the steady surface of dark water. I sat in my chair, pen in hand, notebook filled with observations and strategies. I whispered into the empty room, a vow to no one but myself. You will never hear me coming, but when I arrive, you will know silence has a price. Asterisk, and for the first time since the night of betrayal, I slept.